So we've owned this 40 acres in Dunlap for about 2 years now. My wife and I bought it when we sold our family farm in Canton with the goal of moving that money closer to our home here in Dunlap. And in the meantime, while we were looking for kind of the family farm that we really wanted, we thought we would buy this piece of property and kind of enjoy it in the meantime. So the number one reason we bought it is because it was a good tillable asset. I mean, the soils are productive. I want to say it's a 126 or so productivity index. So it's a nice tillable farm. 27 acres of the 40 are tillable. I'm getting $350 an acre cash rent. So if a guy were to farm all of it, you're looking at just under 10 grand annually. So that's why I bought it. It's a good, hard asset, tillable farm, returning well. The secondary reason I bought it is because on the south side of the farm is the Kickapoo Creek. So we thought that while we were looking for our family farm, in the meantime, we could at least enjoy some recreational value, take the kids out there, run around in the creek and play around. And what we found out is that we enjoyed it a lot more than we thought we would. We use that creek area all the time. When we bought it, we were told that it had good fishing. And it's not that we didn't believe them. I just didn't think that it would be good enough that we would consistently want to go. But that was the case. It was good enough that we wanted to go all the time. There's smallmouth in there, catfish, carp in there. We caught a rock bass. But for the most part, we'd target smallmouth. And, again, the entire south side of the property is creek, so we would wade that, and every 50, 80 yards, there's a deep hole. And I say deep, we're talking 3 feet. It's not super deep. And, there'd be smallmouth in them all the time. And, man, we caught a pile of smallmouth, good fish, up to a couple pounds, which was just a blast out of the creek. So we used the creek for fishing way more than we thought. We also built a little primitive campsite area. So we found a couple acre spot with a nice kind of mellow grade down to the creek, brought in the dozer, cleared out all the brush, planted some grass on the top side, put in 4 gravel RV spots, have a nice concrete pad. Just a cool spot to kind of hang out and have lunch. If you have a camper, you can stay out. But again, there's no power there, but it's a cool kind of remote spot back there. We use that all the time as well. I also used the property for dove hunting. We took 3 or 4 acres out of production and planted a sunflower patch, and there was a pile of doves there. I assume it's because of the creek and the sandy soil and the big trees around it, but it was as good of dove hunting as I've been a part of in central Illinois. It was a great dove plot. I also have about 1 acre on the south side of the tillable field that I have in prairie grass. It's not in CRP. It's just some that I left in prairie grass, and I use it just to train my dog. So, we'll release pheasant or chucker a few times a year just to keep the dog, sharp and go train the dog. And that's been a blast too. A buyer could continue to do that, or, you can just mow over it and plant it back into row crops. I didn't buy the farm to deer hunt. We aren't deer hunters, and I wouldn't even call this like a deer farm. Certainly not a trophy farm. But there's enough timber that, if a guy, as an added bonus, if you want to go kill a deer or 2 a year and some turkey, that is certainly possible. The farm connects on the east to a big chunk of timber, so we do get a lot of good pictures. A deer coming out, we get a lot of turkey pictures. So again, it's not a trophy hunting farm. but for a mostly tillable farm, there is some pretty good deer and turkey hunting out there as well. Overall, we've been super pleased with the farm. I mean, we're selling it because we bought a bigger farm down the road, and it makes sense for us to move some of the money from this farm to that purchase. But overall, we were very happy with the farm. It provided more recreational value than we expected for a tillable farm that returns as well as it does. So we think it'll provide those same benefits to another owner here in the future.